Greetings and salutations, Driver here. Let's install a TST Industries LED light relay. To do the installation for the LED relay, I need to remove the fuel tank off my Honda. I figured while I have it off, I might as well swap out the stock paper air filter and install a K&N air filter at the same time. So watch for that project as well. So let's get right into it. This is my 2018 Honda CB650F. Before you even start this, I highly recommend having as little fuel as possible in your tank. Then I start by removing the side panels. I just show myself taking off one, but both sides need to be removed. I put the 3 bolts on each side back in the original spot for safekeeping. You then remove this bolt. There's one on each side. After that, this panel needs to be pulled off the hook and loop and left loose. With that, the tank can be lifted up. It's still on a hinge, but I was able to raise it high enough to disconnect the 2 hoses and the fuel line. Please note that there's a little tab on the fuel line you need to pull loose before removing it. The larger of the 2 hoses gave me a bit of trouble, but it eventually came off. I placed some blue shop towel here once I disconnected the fuel line just in case. With the hoses disconnected, I set the tank back down and removed the nut and bolt at the hinge. This allows access to disconnect the electrical connection. I then set the fuel tank off to the side on a towel. Here's a quick pic of the bottom of the tank. With the tank off, move the hoses off to the side. The turn signal relay is under this cover. You need to remove these 2 push pins. This cover should come off, but I had trouble with the front clip. I decided to attempt with the cover still on. The signal relay is the far back left position. There's a small clip to push and then the relay pulls out. Remove the rubber attachment from the factory relay and put it on the TST relay. Make note of the orientation and push it in until it clips in. That rubber attachment sits on a standoff holding it in place. Test the signal lights and reassemble if good. When putting the tank back on, I set it back a little so I could reconnect the electrical plug. I then put it back on the hinge and reconnected the 2 hoses in the fuel line. Make sure to push the tab back in. Reinstall the nut, bolt, and washer for the hinge. This can be tightened snug till it stops. You'll then need to line up the tank and the electrical bracket on the right-hand side. The left side doesn't have the electrical bracket. Reconnect the hook and loop for these panels, and then you can reinstall the side panels. If you stored the bolts in the holes, make sure to remove them first. Once again, tighten the bolts till they're snug. Install the seat and you're done. When installing the LED signals on the Kawasaki Versys, I installed a resistor at each LED light. The resistors are not needed when replacing the signal relay. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for my next video as I install the LED signals on the front of my Honda.